friends. I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, amazing viewers. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. For those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed, so grateful to do your reading. If you clicked on this video, you're drawn to the title. This is a collective reading. It's coming through very, very strong with a collective message for all of us here, including myself. And I've pre-shuffled the oracle cards. I've not looked at them. I don't know what this message is, although I will put in the description what the messaging is once we go through what this is all about. So let's take a look at the decks we'll be using first and foremost. Okay, I'll put timestamps. You guys can go straight away to the channeled message, or you can go through the card layout, which gives us a chance to tap our intuition into the divine for those of you guys looking to develop your intuition. So let's take a look at the decks. It's quite a few beautiful decks that I was called to use for this reading. Ones I haven't touched in a while. I do feel a very strong spiritual energy pulling through. I mean, all my readings are very spiritual in the community here, although this messaging is coming through very, very strong. So there must be some sort of release or new beginning of sorts happening. This is very intense. And I just recently got these. If you guys are interested in this deck, there's a card reveal yesterday I posted. And finally, for the tarot deck, that we'll be using the angel messages, which are these cards here for the tarot, for any clarifiers near the end as we go through with this messaging. All right, so just a quick disclaimer here. If you're new to tarot, divination, I'm not predicting, okay? I'm not predicting anything at all. What I'm doing is I'm channeling energy that comes through with my intuition through the divine, either through what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, and what I'm seeing here with the cards, okay? And so I'm just channeling energy and cards, but I use my intuition mostly and communicate whatever messaging comes through, okay? This isn't everyone's frequency, although this is going to touch a lot of you guys who were drawn to this video based on the description, okay? And so I do feel if you clicked on this video, there is a reason why this messaging is coming through to you. You can apply this to your own personal situation, okay? But collectively, as a collective, this is the energy which we're encompassing here in this energy frequency, okay? So you could take it sort of as what's going on around you with energies you're working with. It might give you some insight as to why energies feel the way they feel around you if you're not specifically engaged in whatever is pulling through here, okay? So like I said, I'm not predicting so much as what we're doing is we're just tapping into the energy based on where the energy frequency is sitting and what spirit wants to communicate as far as messaging goes. Okay, so never take messages that don't feel right. Use your own intuition over mine and come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging feels right for you. Only you can do this. I can't tell you whether this is your message or not. Okay, that's between you and the divine, but never force anything. Okay, so let's go through the card layout. For those of you guys who are in tune with your intuition, you can go straight away to the channeled message. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, the Sacred Rebels pulling first. Inner Trust. Number 2. So I'm getting a very strong, authentic energy pulling through with the white. And so I feel collectively, maybe there's a lot of people who have been not living their honest life, not living authentically to who they are. You know, like she's shrouded here, so covering up the truth because we don't trust in our own decision making potentially, or we've been programmed to believe that maybe our decision making and our opinions and our decisions are left to others. And so 2 is all about duality. It's also about choices. So I feel like maybe we felt like we weren't, yeah, this is going to be channeled probably card by card. I don't know how I'm going to do the card layouts, but a lot is coming through channeled with this. So yeah, collectively, I feel like people have been on program mode. Like we haven't been really making decisions that are aligned to our best interest, to what we authentically feel called to do. And so I feel like this has been going on long enough where we've been programmed, conditioned to do the social thing. What we've been told is the right thing to do, or in order to survive. So I feel like there are decisions and choices that the collective is waking up to, knowing that it's in their power and in their greatest good to choose things that are in their control. So I feel like they're also on a personal level, you guys might be battling a big decision, or coming to a crossroads with a big decision in your life that maybe you haven't been faced with ever. It could be a major move, and maybe you've committed your whole life to a certain location or a specific job or career, or even getting into, let's say, a serious relationship like a marriage or starting a family when you've been sort of living one life. Okay. Or like for me personally, I'm giving up eating meat. Okay. I know that's a personal thing, but that's huge. It's like I can't no more go down that path spiritually for me. And so that's a big decision that I've been mulling over for quite some time, to switch, what's right for me. And I feel like these decisions are ones that maybe we were feeling not empowered to do, because the world around us was built in a way to support that paradigm of the old version of us, like what will I do in this new world that's not supporting the new version of me that's more authentic? Like, because of course, the first thing, and just comparing it back to my decision, it's like, well, I obviously live with my children. They eat meat. There's certain patterns and certain foods, certain ways that we live that's like, well, this whole thing's going to have to be sort of turned around. I have to make different decisions, and it doesn't just impact me. And how does this look? It's easier just to kind of stay in the same. But my soul was telling me different. It was weighing very heavy on me spiritually. And so I felt it was time, and this is just recent. It was this new moon that I was like, okay, I got to commit to this, I really got to do my best to commit to this. And I know I'll be taken care of. So I feel like there's this trusting our own ability to make decisions that might seem very challenging, or like the outside wouldn't support us, or friends might not support us, or environment might go against us. These decisions might come back, to blow up in our face in some way, but we're trusting in our strength. We're trusting in our ability to do the best thing that's more aligned with us. Wow. Sacrifice. Sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. My goodness, you guys. Some of you guys are giving up year-long addictions, patterns, with these illusions. I feel like the illusion is when we are not living authentically, when we are living someone else's story of who we thought we had to be, and we believed it. We might have thought we were authentic, and living authentically. Like even me, I think I have even a few videos on this. If there's one thing I knew was being authentic, or so I thought, but it's a conditioned version of me. Okay, like me, us, the collective here, this messaging. And so it's like this version of me that I've created here is just an accumulation of experiences and a whole bunch of projections of other people. And underneath all this, there's a true version of me. And so I feel like maybe in the past we felt like, yeah, like we had to sacrifice ourselves in order for us to carry that version of who we thought we had to be. So it's like I have to, work maybe 9 to 5 because that's my belief. And so I'm making a sacrifice for the greater good of my family, or I don't know, like if your whole family's been, let's say doctors. And so you're going down this path to carry on like a third generation doctor or something like this. But it's sacrificing what you could actually be if you were to allow yourself to unfold like a flower here. So I feel like we're releasing, cutting away all that needs to go in order for the authentic to remain. Whatever we sacrificed of ourselves, I feel, is actually coming back to us, or we're seeing it as an offering here that we can embrace the version of us that we might have sacrificed in the past, deflated. So we might have, there's 2 shadow cards here. One's deflated and one says resentful. So what happens when we sacrifice a part of ourself? We do feel deflated, and we might even start to feel resentful. And maybe this is why there's such heavy energies in the collective. No one's really doing what they want. Everyone's sort of sitting low energy, totally deflated. And so when we live our authentic life, there's something to be said about this charged energy. It brings about a very beautiful, magnetic, high energy. And people want to be around people who are authentic, doing what it is that they love. And so I feel like the collective has been carrying this burden for way too long. And so there's a lot of resentment potentially and missed time, like missed time in living the best authentic life and doing what someone else has told us we had to be, or even we believed strongly. So we might even be resentful for why we believed or carried out old versions of ourselves, why we sacrificed parts of ourselves. Okay, so we have tolerance. You appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. I feel like we might have felt like if we weren't sacrificing, then we weren't loving, the people around us. We weren't doing something lovingly. But I feel like we were tolerating certain situations in order to sacrifice a greater part of ourself. But I feel like Spirit's saying it's not needed. We don't need to sacrifice any part of ourself. There is no need to just tolerate situations. Like the most loving thing we can do is embrace our truest self, our most authentic self, to make decisions aligned with the truth of who we are. That is the greatest love we can give to the collective, Wow, this is very powerful. Prosperity. Yeah. And like I was talking about, when we live our authentic life energetically, it's higher vibration and things align, they flow. We're not having to overthink. We're not feeling resentful and heavy. We're not hesitating. We're not getting stuck in addictions and illusions and stories weighing on us mentally. And I feel like with the prosperity, this could even be tied to, bringing in abundance, whether it be wealth or opening doors for us that have been closed for a very long time. Like we're capped, if we're stuck in another world, it's like we're capped for the amount of money we can make, the amount of joy we can experience in a world of what it is that we're being called to do. So I feel like we're actually aligning ourselves with more prosperity by making these decisions that are more aligned with authenticity. Enlightenment. Wow. So we see a sailboat with a flame. So enlightenment is just awareness. We hear enlightenment so much in the spiritual community, and we think this is like an energy reserved for like a Buddha or someone like who's highly, highly spiritual and has done years and years of, shadow work and a spiritual practice. And really, enlightenment is a state of consciousness where we're aware. We're aware, and we shine the light in areas that maybe were on program and dark, and we weren't even consciously aware that we were running on program. They were making certain decisions just because, and so I feel like there's a lot of awareness in the collective, and I feel like this allows energy to flow and move, and people to get inspired, and people need to get inspired in order for there to be prosperity gained. Because if we're feeling very deflated, the last thing we had was a flame for our passions to move us in the direction. I feel we're moving in the direction of our passions, feeling more energized, feeling more driven to move in those directions, because we see some form of truth here about ourselves, about the collective, about decisions we've made with our eyes closed potentially, or just covered up. Romance. And we have the sign of Venus in Taurus. So romance is connection, is relationships. And the 2 again, we're getting. So I feel like maybe we haven't been aligned with the greatest support, in our world. And so right beside prosperity here, it's like being more authentic aligns us with the right relationships, the right people, the right support. And maybe we're having a very, very difficult time, like feeling supported, because when we're not our authentic self and we're under the guise of a different energy, it's like we can't really connect in the heart space. We're just sort of tolerating relationships. We're kind of putting up with situations and people, and I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this change is going to open the door to new relationships. Like specifically when it comes to romance, I did feel some of you guys might be entering like a lifetime partnership here, like a decision to go into a partnership, with your lifetime partner. And I feel like this is choosing you. Like, I don't feel like maybe, I don't know, because I felt like you guys were making a choice, but I feel like the choice is in front of you. I feel like you've been chosen, like destiny, like here's this Cupid shooting this arrow, like destiny has chosen you. And so the decision is yours to whether you want to pursue and shift your world, but I do feel like it's more aligned with your authenticity. And I do feel like it's supporting your newest version of self here that might have been, I don't know, like living a different life for some time. Versatility, Sun in Gemini. So, and the number 3. So we have succession here, growth and relationships. So Empress energy, which is divine feminine energy, about abundance, prosperity, versatility. So maybe we felt like, we're very limited here with the deflated, the sacrifice, and resentful. It's almost like we were forced, without really knowing, but feeling is subconsciously forced to be one version or one track mind of what we should do, one version of ourselves. With this versatility, I feel like we are now capable and able to maneuver ourselves how we see fit. We're not one track being, we're not even one sort of energy. Our authentic self is someone who's very versatile, who has to maybe go with the flow and bend to circumstances and not feel stuck to one lifestyle, like one, I don't know, version story of ourself that tells our whole story. Like, we have to be able to go with the flow of the universe here And I feel like that's being more authentic than, like one, let's say, I don't know, like one job, one career, one, like marriage, one, like I feel like we were forced to be one version, when in reality the universe is always wanting us to be flexible, to be in the present moment, to be able to see, to see what's in front of us in order for us to be always aligned with prosperity, not to hang on and cling to situations and sacrifice prosperity or happiness or true connection in order to upkeep something. 16, to you the earth yields her fruit, buying and selling. So 16 is tower energy. So yeah, the old paradigm is coming down, I feel, with the tower, and 7 is the chariot. Chariot's about the universe and where it's destined to move us to for forward movement is feeling a sailboat. There's movement here towards victory, but it's now aligned with the universe. I feel like it's not a forced decision we're making here. And so this allows us to accept the fruit of the universe, which is prosperity, because we're able to let go. And there goes my email confirming, we're able to let go of what's not ours and what we no longer want to sacrifice ourselves for, so that we can accept the beautiful fruit what the universe wants to deliver. Tetrahedron, take action. 18. So 18 is the moon. So maybe there's been a lot of fears to take action or to pursue or go down the path, of the unknown with the moon. And again, it's like the subconscious. The subconscious had a lot of energy that was dictating our actions. So we were making moves and decisions based on fears, based on deep emotions that were housed within us. And we might have not even connected why we were choosing to do certain things, stay in illusions, or be in certain addictions or patterns. This is all about our lifestyle and shining the light of awareness here with the enlightenment in the darkest parts of ourself, and undoing, like I said, the old version, the paradigm. But the triangle here with the tetrahedron, I feel like this is a very solid new beginning, and it's creating a support, I feel, underneath us, that's not based on something that is false. And so we're more secure. We're feeling more secure, more stable, more grounded when we're choosing decisions based on what's actually us. Perception 35, or the number 8. So 8 is star energy, Aquarius energy, which is a lot of healing coming through. But 8 stands for movement and change and attainment. So I feel like we have to move. We can't be stagnant. I feel like we might have been stagnant for some time, like maybe energetically lots going on. But physically, I feel collectively we might have been very stuck. And so this new awareness is allowing us to move physically, energetically, to newer areas that are more prosperous for us. But I feel like this perception could have been this heavy illusion, this veil that was covering our eyes here with this moon. It's like the subconscious veil was dictating all these decisions collectively, and none of us were seeing the truth or aligned with the greater awareness of truth. It was the perception of the collective that was creating this heaviness, this darkness. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Yeah, and maybe we thought like what was for us could never be a thing because we believed it. Like maybe we believed we weren't made to go in a direction of a certain career or have a certain type of a relationship or do something in our world here because of a limiting belief, thought, but it was just planted in our mind, in our subconscious, wasn't allowing us to be flexible or versatile and making different decisions. And now we open this new world, pineapple reconciliation. So a reconciliation is a coming together, coming back together, coming back to self. Pineapple. Not sure what I'm getting from pineapple. Let's see. So I think these are morning glories. Let's take a look at the book. This deck is a little bit very strong energetically. It's not always light messages that pull through. So let me grab it. So let's see. So this is the Queen of Pentacles, or Queen of Diamonds, Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. What does it say here? Queen. Female. Oh no, that's hearts. That's not hearts. We're looking at diamonds. Sorry. Diamonds. Yes. Queen of Diamonds. Morning glories. Yes. Okay. So morning glories are persistent. They will grow everywhere and in just about any condition. So we have this versatility. As such, the morning glory was chosen for this card, which represents a good mother and wife. It may also represent a blonde woman who, if the other cards are present, are right, can be overbearing. Since morning glories like to take over more room than they are given to start with. Otherwise, the Queen of Diamonds may also foretell a wedding or other commitment in the works. So some of you guys definitely could be a relationship, okay? I mean, the lifetime of committing your life to a relationship here. Like, I think this is a major life decision, but I feel like this commitment is a lifetime commitment. Like I said, like not eating meat, changing your career. But I feel like the restriction here, like saying the, what was the words? Overbearing. I feel like maybe we felt this is something we wouldn't be able to, a decision we wouldn't be able to overcome. It may also represent a blonde woman who, if the other cards present are right, can be overbearing since morning glories like to take up more room than they are given to start with. Yeah, I feel like potentially we were uncertain, like how much of ourselves are we able to actually commit to something? How much space are we going to have to make here? How much do we have to bend? Maybe there's a lot of fear still in making this commitment, and I'm not going to lie, like I'm kind of concerned. Like, I don't know, what the decisions I'm making here, like, I don't know, I've never stopped eating meat. Like, there's questions, but there's an energy here of this commitment being in line with your authenticity, like really, really being in line here with your authenticity. I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting, exactly, the version of you that's been upkeeping a world. And it's like this I'm sorry, and this resentful, almost like we're almost like apologizing to ourselves. Like, I'm sorry that I've been living this other life that wasn't me, or that wasn't aligned, and that I didn't see this sooner. I didn't acknowledge it, that this other version of me is what's calling to me, and where I should have been like more respecting. I feel like we gave up on ourselves, or we let ourselves down. Look at, there's two people facing each other here. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and we even have reconciliation here. It's like making a peace with ourselves. finally. Okay, let me tap into this energy collectively and see what's going on here, you guys. Okay, you guys can skip ahead. I'll see what's pulling through here. Okay, beautiful, beautiful collective. I don't know how far you guys skipped ahead. Okay, I do suggest you look at the card layout because a lot of channeling was already coming through, and so I might miss what it was that I was saying there, but I'm going to channel what else is coming through here. But I do want to make mention that this collective reading, okay, is going to be what's going on collectively for those of you guys who've tapped into this reading. And you can certainly apply this to your own personal situation, of an own personal level. Okay, this is all about making a major life decision here. I feel like the choice is in front of you, but I feel like it's almost happening through you. I don't feel like maybe you've been out seeking this whole thing. I feel like this is some transition, some shift, some awareness that's come to light. And it is you not being able to unsee what you've seen here about the truth of who you are and what your soul is crying out to do. But I feel there's still some fear. And the fear could be very subconscious based on I've always lived my life in a certain way or understood myself to be this. And so we could really connect with that identity as our authentic self because we're attached to that version of us. But Spirit's coming through here saying that isn't our authentic self. We carried a heavy veil of perception based on programming and conditioning that we attach to versions of ourselves. But we were committed to living illusions, potentially living with addictions, and being in a sleepy state of the matrix, like really, what is it? Fulfilling an agenda, a program here, but it was at the sacrifice of our own soul or a true happiness of our soul here that is aligned with prosperity, wealth, abundance, health, spiritual health, mental health, physical health. Okay, so I feel like we are seeing the light and we are definitely inspired to move and embrace a decision, whatever the decision is for you. Some of you guys, I do feel it could be a lifetime partnership, but I feel like people around us are going to align to support us and our new decision. And maybe we were disappointed to let down our families or our partners. If I align myself with an authentic version of me, I might be giving up or I don't know, like there's a certain part of me that has to sacrifice for my family, but that's just a belief that we carried. And it's like, if our family is supporting us and love us, then they want to make sure that we are aligned with the greatest version of us. So I feel like for a long time, we've been very heavy, energetically feeling very heavy. This says deflated and resentful. I feel like over time, resentment could have built energetically in our subconscious. And I feel like there's a heaviness here with this I'm sorry and this reconciliation of making amends with the fact that maybe for a long time we've been playing small, not taking up the space maybe that we felt we needed, or being in the big light, because I feel like we have a very big light that has been watered down, that we've been like actually keeping small, like we've been actively doing this. It hasn't really been anyone else doing it. And so we feel like the choice was always mine. And I always chose to toe the line, or I always chose to live in that illusion or sacrifice that piece of me. And it's like, I don't have to do this anymore. I could take action aligned with the greatest version of me. And so the earth, the universe, it wants to hand you this beautiful prosperity, which is aligned only on the path of your authentic self. And this is what you're moving towards. And I feel like maybe for the longest time, it was like how much of myself is going to change, or in this new world, am I going to have to do something here that I'm incapable of being? How versatile do I have to be? How much do I got to tolerate of the old version of me, or sacrifice of myself in order to make this decision? Like there's a lot of questions like this. And maybe it's like, is this like, I don't want to be controlled or overburdened by the system or people or situations that aren't aligned with me no more. And so there's a lot of questions and maybe even hesitancy around making decisions, because we've learned the hard way here to be in situations that have resulted in a heaviness. And in hindsight, looking back, it's like it hasn't really been fulfilling. It hasn't really been filling my soul. And so there's this new understanding that you are guiding yourself, that you are the one in charge of your ship. You're the one who can make moves and decisions in your world here, no matter how big. And I really feel like there's this major decision that's about to turn your world into something very prosperous. And this would require you uprooting what exists. There was tower energy coming through here. There's this writing past wrongs and uprooting. And so there's shakeups, in families, or like literally like picking up sticks and moving, maybe provinces or cities or countries, or households, jobs, careers, things you've committed your life to. Maybe you've made a long lifetime sacrifice to a relationship or to that career. And it's like, it cannot any longer pretend or make that decision. I have to take action. Can't stay in the darkness anymore or be led by the fear or why I was making these decisions. It's like I can see that the decisions I was making were really, for whatever reason, but they weren't for the best. And so there is this, like I say, like feeling almost like we let ourselves down, or we had to sacrifice a part of our own soul, and we chose to do this. And so there's making amends with our old self, or the version of ourself, the part of ourself we let down, and wanting the best sort of situation and arrangement for us to flourish. And I do feel like you're being have been massaged energetically in order to work with this new energy. Because I think in the past there might have been too much old restricted energy that might have felt, I don't know, like fear keeps coming through, but maybe we weren't sure how to make moves, how to be in a new world, because all we've ever known was the old world. And letting go of the illusion and letting go of the old way was equally as difficult for us. So I feel we're no longer tolerating old situations, relationships, jobs, ways of being that might have just kept going. It kept going, but it wasn't fulfilling. And now we're uplifting. We're uprooting ourselves. Okay. So this is massive. Let's see, Spirit. What do we want to tell the collective in regards to this collective message? Absolutely beautiful. In regards to the collective's decision here, anything they're needing to know. Thank you so much, Spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective. What messaging is wanting to come through here in regards to this crossroads, this inner trust, this authenticity? Thank you so much, Spirit. So we have the 5 of fire, which is 5 wands, conflicts, annoyance, and competition in reverse. So this could be the card of inner conflict, and it could be the card of resistance and competing and fighting. It's like me against the world, where I had to fight my way every day to just maintain this version of me. And it's like, this is a card of surrender in reverse. Like, I'm no longer in the rat race, or I'm no longer having to fight for what I want. When we're authentic, everything flows. It's not a battle. It's very much aligned with our destined path. It flows. We're inspired. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like fighting. It doesn't feel like chasing. And I feel like all the conflicts that we were creating, mental and otherwise, with people, relationships, situations, I feel like this falls away. And I think it's been heavy, with just people not on the same page, people not agreeing, because the agendas were all sort of given to us in some way. But everyone kind of had their own authentic self being buried underneath. And so there wasn't a flow. I feel like now, making this aligned decision, I feel like the communities of people, the relationships of people that surround our daily life is going to be less of a struggle and a challenge. And this is beautiful. This is true enlightenment. Wow, this is quite the message. Knight of Earth, organized, responsible, supportive. So maybe there was concern around, will there be prosperity? Will it be something that is responsible? Is it something I could pull off in a practical way here? And the answer is yes. And the universe supports you. Okay? But I feel like maybe what we thought was a responsible decision was actually us sacrificing a part of ourselves here that didn't need to be sacrificed for an illusion. That was the illusion. It's like the more responsible decision is to align ourselves with decisions that are loving and prosperous for us for our future. That's what the universe is supporting us to do. So I do feel you've been at this for some time, because the Knight of Earth does talk about, a very steady progress here. And maybe we've been trying to surrender or try to come out of conflict for some time, battling the illusions, battling the addictions, battling whatever sort of environment we've been in. Ace of Water, new beginning. So we have emotions, relationships, and intuition. I feel like this decision, whatever you're making, is going to align you with new relationships in your world that are very supportive. I feel this is a very divinely guided decision. Okay, Spirit's got your back here. And I do feel it is very much aligned with your inner child's calling. Like all of this flame we were seeing, this inspiration to make decisions back to the truest, most innocent part of yourself that you've been sacrificing. This is who we're making peace with, our inner child. Okay, this is beautiful. It does connect to our heart space too with the Ace of Cups. Queen of Air, brilliant, experience, and humorous. So this is the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So maybe we were too fearful of making rash decisions. Is this of the best decision? Am I being wise? Will I have enough experience? And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you are more than ready, based on your experience in this life, to choose differently, to choose more in line with your authenticity here. Like I feel like it was just a matter of getting empowered to make this decision so you could see your way through. And I do feel for a long time with this perception and this sort of truth in reverse, we've been in denial or not seeing the great potential within us to make these decisions. The Sword of Truth talks about authenticity. It's speaking our truth. I feel like we've been silencing ourselves, not taking action on the truest version of what we wanted to do. And this has caught up to us over time. Seven of Air. Yes, look at this. So this is the Seven Swords. Awareness, caution, and consequences. And it's in reverse. So what's this? That's this, I'm sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. This is the thief returning the swords. This is somebody admitting a truth that they've been in denial about. This is somebody addressing their subconscious fears, or a part of what was hidden is now being revealed. So we might have been convincing ourselves, that we weren't fill in the blank, or that we couldn't do fill in the blank. And now I think we're seeing the truth, that there was a lot of our own involvement in denial. And we were not wanting potentially to create conflict or to uproot something, to start a new beginning. And Spirit is saying, we're starting this new beginning. You know, our heart's been calling and pulling and guiding us in this direction. It's speaking to your inner child. This is the most prosperous thing you could possibly do here. And so there really isn't no need to feel the heaviness here, but there is making amends with yourself and allowing yourself to embrace the inner child and this truth that's been in the darkness for some time. This might be quite shocking, you know, might be quite shocking to see a truth about ourselves that we haven't been wanting to see or accept. And even like this consequences, it's like, what have been the consequences of me not being myself? What have been the consequences of me upkeeping this world? Has been heavy. I just got more and more resentful. Maybe I got very deflated and energetically just watered down, more asleep, more sacrifice of myself, more tolerating of a situation until I couldn't no more. I had to surrender. High Priestess, oh my goodness, intuition, wisdom, patience. Look at this. So we have intuition coming through twice. The future position. I feel like intuitively you have been called, you know, you have been having dreams, signs, symbols. Your heart space has been calling to you to move towards this decision. The two, again, like I said, it's all about choices, but we don't know we have a choice unless we can see it. And so this enlightenment is casting a light maybe where we didn't know we had a decision, or that it was just written off as we can't for whatever reason. It's like, now I know that Spirit has my back now with the wisdom and this experience. So maybe in the past, I don't know, however long, year, 2 years, however long, 3 years. I feel like some of you guys, it's been years. We've been experiencing something very intense that has been really casting this light, that's been giving us the wisdom and giving us the experience so that we could be prepared for this. You know, and I feel like whatever we saw or whatever we're about to see, we can't unsee. The scroll is open. It's like, I now taste or see what my future holds. And it's absolutely aligned with prosperity. And I know what I've experienced in the past has been like challenging. And I'd much rather have this version that I now see rather than the old version that I've already experienced, that hasn't left me feeling very good. You know, I feel like there's a light feeling here. It's very spiritual. It's very in line with the inner child. It's very much in line with the heart. And it's very much in line with where you've been directed to. So we have Pisces energy and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, like I said. Wow. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little bit more just to see what Spirit wants to communicate. Because you're laughing, as my son, he's playing video games. Let's see if we could get a sneaky peek in this beautiful crossroads where you guys are headed, I guess. Like, what is it Spirit wants to communicate? Spirit, final message for the collective. What is this message about? Can we get further information, a sneaky peek into this? Whatever the collective is still unsure about, anything that can help guide them towards this beautiful new life. I do feel is life-changing here. And it's with ease, I feel. Spirit, what is it that the collective needs to know about this? 9 of Earth. Look at this. Contentment, luxury, independence, freedom. You know, and maybe we thought we wouldn't be free. It's like, no, you're now enjoying the freedom because making this choice is aligned with your truest self. Independence. This is the card of independence and freedom, you know, and luxury. I feel like we're going to be financially or monetarily, however this comes through, blessed, okay, with abundance in the practical world, but I feel like spiritually blessed, you know, like spiritually blessed, content, feeling just completely at peace with the decision. Very confident, beautiful energy, free from whatever bound you in the past, whatever sacrifices you felt you had to make. Look at that. Liberation, realization, life change. Yes, transformation. So Tower energy, which was coming through. This is massive, you guys. You're uprooting. The old paradigm is falling away. And I feel like now's the time with this timing. You've been divinely guided. This is divine timing. The old paradigm falls. We have a realization, like I said, we can't unsee to make this life change, which really, with this liberation, it's all about freeing your soul, freeing yourself from the chains of the version of the world that you've been upkeeping. And change sometimes is very scary, you know, but I feel like there's a little butterfly with the transformation. It's, I don't know, it's time for you to transform into what you already are. It's like you see who you already are, you know, you're just coming back. Look at this. This person's being led by the hand, by the little angel, divinely guided down this path. I think you've been on this path for some time. You've been down this path and you were being led right to this decision, this crossroads. And like I was saying with this, it's like the divine chose you to come back home or to come to this crossroads. It's been guiding you. And so it's still up to you, you know, to go down this path and make this decision. But I feel like now's the time. You know, you can't unsee. And it comes with a lot of freedom. Okay, so let's see. And look at all this. Like to you, the earth yields her fruit, luxury, prosperity, something that definitely pays you, you know, pays you energetically, pays you spiritually, pays you financially. However, it pays you. Knight of Water, romantic, emotional, dramatic. So this is coming in reverse. So I feel like we might have been very, very, very blocked to move with our heart. You know, like the world we were in, this is what we're releasing. The inability to follow our heart, to move in that direction with the horse here. And this is a white horse, which is all about authenticity. How we express ourselves, how we show up. Emotionally, creatively, our intuition. This is all about a block here and what actually matters, you know, at the expense of upkeeping some other world. That's what we were sacrificing, this part of ourself. And so I feel this is why there's a heaviness here. Like, I'm sorry that I've suppressed you. You know, I suppressed my emotions. I suppressed my heart. I suppressed the communication I was getting towards moving towards this direction. That was clearly more in line with my freedom and my confidence. And yeah, like everything I feel is really aligned with this. The star. Oh my goodness. Look at how beautiful. Inspiration, fulfillment, faith, healing, moving towards your North Star. Like up until now, it's only been just a wish or a vision of something that you probably felt you would never get to this. You know, this is like, I feel like there's been a lot of inspiration here and a lot of effort to move towards this star. You've had to get into balance. I think you've had to acknowledge a lot of your emotions as well. I'm feeling a lot of Aquarius energy here. 5 of fire. So here's the 5 wands again. You've had to fight. I feel you've had to challenge yourself. I feel like there's been a lot of struggle. Moving towards the star, trying to get balance. This could be a lot of shadow work, a lot of reconciling emotions, letting ourselves express ourselves, acknowledging these emotions, acknowledging what we even want. But I feel there's been a lot of healing done, and it has been very challenging, you know, to keep at this in order for there to be a shift. 2 of fire. Here you are at the crossroads. Planning, partnering, and progress. So the choice is yours. And beautiful collective. Look at this feather, white feather. So white's about authenticity, purity, peace. This one's glowing just like this, enlightenment. Okay, I feel like the truth is that your authenticity is going to bring peace. your awareness is going to bring peace. And feathers talk about our ancestors. I feel like you're being divinely guided by not only spirit, okay, guardian angels here, but also by your ancestors. I think this is the light that's been surrounding you, that's brought you here to this crossroads. So the decision you're about to embark on, and for some of you guys, you've already made this decision, because I feel like some of you guys are, like I said, I recently made this decision for me of not eating meat with this new moon, which is just recently. Okay, and so I feel like there's a decision here to no longer suppress your emotions and follow your heart, because you've been really conditioned to do what you thought was right, and now here you sit and your ancestors are saying it's up to you. But now that you see the truth, now that you've been guided here, there's the shooting star even in the distance there. It's your choice. You can have your star. You can go after this. You know what your star is. You've been thinking about it for some time. You've been moving towards it for some time. Don't let the fears get in your way. With that little sliver, look at the moon. It's now a tiny sliver. So there might still be a little fear, but the fear doesn't hold you back no more. It's tiny little sliver. And when it might have been a big moon at one point in time, like facing this transformation, letting this tower fall. It's like my shooting star, my wish has so much more power than the fears or that subconscious energy that I was hanging on to that was so heavy. It's no longer weighing me down. I no longer have to fight against it. I'm no longer conflicted. It's so beautiful. And I feel like that darkness we were carrying with this deflated and this resentful, it was just so heavy. It was too heavy. And look at this all bright, sunny, and just a weight being lifted. And look at these two people here. There's two people here. I feel like a lot of you guys are aligning with the right people, the right relationship. Someone's got your back. Someone's really supporting this decision of yours. You're not alone. Maybe it's your soul tribe. Maybe it's your lifelong partner. But I feel like you guys aren't alone in this decision, and you know this. And it makes it easier for you to go down that path, not to pick the path we've always chose, the suffering path, but to the path of new horizons towards this beautiful star. And I feel we've had to do a lot of the healing and a lot of this shadow work and a lot of facing this and a lot of deconstruction, which has led to this massive transformation, and all it's done was highlight where we've been blocked emotionally, where we've been blocked creatively, and I feel like a lot of you guys are saying no more, no more. It's my choice here. So this is beautiful, you guys. I do love this energy for the collective. I hope this resonated for you guys, and I will see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye.